All right, so let me go ahead and take a look at this velocity versus time graph problem here. This is part 2. Now, we want to know the displacement for each between 4 and 8 seconds. So let's go ahead. Now, when we have a graph like this, the displacement is going to be the area of this trapezoid here. And I'm just going to give you a formula. I'll put this on your exam. But the area of a trapezoid is actually given by the following. I've got this height here, and this height here, and what I can actually do is the following. I can add them up and divide by 2. So my area ends up being 8 plus 4 over 2, which ends up being 6 meters for this one here. For this one here, we're going backwards, and it's a triangle, so that's going to be 1/2 times 8 times -16. Absolutely possible for us to have negative displacement, and this is going to give us -64 meters. Continuing on, this is determine the average acceleration during the first 3 seconds. So all we're going to need to do is get the slope. So it turns out for each of these, it says 3 seconds. That's tedious and terrible to read. So I'm going to instead get the slope over the whole graph because I can actually read those numbers. Remember, acceleration is the slope. So just make a little note here. This is area. This is slope. And we'll go ahead and actually do this now. So for this one here, we wind up at 4 from a speed of 12. And the time elapsed there is 8 seconds. So we end up getting -1 meters per second squared for that one. Now for this one here, I end up at -16, having started from 0 meters per second, so -16 meters per second from 0, all over 8 seconds. So this ends up being -2 meters per second squared. Now, if we wanted to describe the motion, these have slightly different motion. And I just want to kind of be clear on this. So for this first one, okay, we move forward, slowing down from 12 meters per second to 4 meters per second. With acceleration equal to -1 meters per second squared. For this one, I would give you full credit for saying we move forward slowing down. This one, we move backwards, speeding up from 0 meters per second to -16 meters per second, okay, with acceleration equal to -2 meters per second squared. And again, I would be okay with we move backwards speeding up as the answer. So that is part 2 of your practice exam.